All right, welcome back. Well, we getting back to politics. Mohammed Nalado joins us here. He's a former chairman of IPAC. Good morning. Thank you for coming on today. Well, after that meeting yesterday, because previously that news about, it was an INEC official actually, who did say that elections may not hold, may be postponed, of course. There was bound to be a lot of reaction. But that meeting, did you come out assured that contrary to the previous narrative that the elections will indeed go ahead without any hitches whatsoever?
Yes. The INEC chairman briefed the political parties yesterday, and he gave us all the assurances that the election is going to hold. And you know, in the past, we had similar situations like in 2015, where we had, you know, a whole geopolitical zone under Boko Haram, but that didn't stop election from going on. So I believe the Nigerian security will definitely look at the situation and see how they are going to address most of these challenges that INEC is, you know, maybe afraid of.
Yeah, but how should people respond to that? Because it is a concern. If there are attacks, threats to the offices and their personnel, they themselves, one wonders, how assured will they be? Because they will be the ones who will be facing the electorate and possibly any threat if there happens to be any on the day.
Exactly. You know, it is not only the INEC staff, you know, that matters, even the electorate themselves. You know, a situation where a voter will go to a voting point and get maybe threatened by terrorists or these hoodlums is a very thing of concern. But I'm sure the security sector of Nigeria must have been working to make sure that lives and properties of Nigerians are properly secure, I'm sure.
So was it at the meeting held and there were no concerns raised by political party leaders in the meeting, or what?
No, of course. After the INEC has given us assurances, then we had nothing because we had built something in our mind, some questions to ask. But the address by the chairman, I mean, you know, address everything. So we believe that, yes, the election is going to hold as what the chairman of INEC has.
How big a fear? Because I know that now you say that you've been reassured and that, you know, you're calm now, you think everything is hunky-dory, as they say. But I wonder, when you initially saw the newspaper headlines and a lot of the dailies reporting that, how much fear did you feel when you saw that?
Actually, it depends or it varies on individuals. But with the consultation meeting we have been having with INEC, you know, he has been having consultation meeting with political parties, security, agencies, and social, what do you call them? The CSOs. And he keeps giving us assurances. And by looking at, so far we have gone in preparation and taking ourselves back to what happened in the past, we believe it's a small challenge that the security authorities of Nigeria can take care of.
So did you dismiss the newspaper headlines then?
Of course we didn't, because what we had, it was said by a personnel of INEC. But when he was addressing us, the chairman, he refuted that INEC had never at any time, you know, dispensed that information that they are not going to hold election. So you see, we have to rely on what the chairman told us, not on what we have heard from other angles.
Okay. So I'm looking at the conduct of the elections right now for political parties. What areas of concern? Because you said that you had some questions which you wanted to ask the national chairman, but that in his address he already, you know, took care of a lot of the questions that you had. What other concerns, apart from security, did you have about the elections?
Well, you see, it's all around the security, because if you talk of hate speeches, you talk of, sentiments. These are the things that aggravate and make, you know, security situation worse. So we wanted to really talk about, ourselves, we politicians, that we have to be cautious, you have to be issue-based in our approaches, no personal attacks on individuals, no using sentiments, religious or ethnic sentiments, you know. And I'm sure if we're able to contain that, then everything will go smoothly.
You wanted to raise that with INEC?
No, we went, it's a consultative meeting. So at a consultation, everybody can voice out his view and people contribute. And from there, you find solution to whatever the problem is.
So far, so good. I mean, you talked about hate speech, which was an area you had concerns about. The campaigns have been on for a while now. In fact, some people say that these are some of the longest campaigns you've ever witnessed. Would you say that politicians have conducted themselves with respect when you listen to some of the campaign messages that have gone out there already?
Yes, the main actors are doing very well to make sure that they play the game according to the rule. But there are some supporters that
the main actors.
That is the contestants.
Okay.
They are very, very cautious of what they say. I have listened to most of them at different rallies. Nobody is talking or attacking another, But it is a problem of the supporters. People that are supporting candidates, they come out and be voicing out things of their interest, not minding what are the consequences going to be like, So these are the areas where I think we political parties, have to, sit down. I'm happy the Peace Committee is inviting the presidential candidate and national chairman of political parties to discuss, on such issues.
But, so when you say we political parties have to sit down and look at them,
yes,
is it that the parties and their candidates have not done enough?
No, we are doing
to ensure that the supporters, they rein them in when they appear to be going overboard.
It's just like a principal or head teacher at a school, Your children or pupils will keep on, creating ways of bullying others, doing a lot of, misgivings. And you cannot stop, at one day because you have once told them that they should stop and expect them to stop. You have to continue following the events, and from there you'll be assessing and you get whether your message is being
Were you equally satisfied, the meeting there, were they all satisfied with questions such as neutrality of INEC officials and neutrality of security personnel?
Certainly, yes. We are very, very sure the INEC is very, very is secure. Is straightforward, and we are sure that there's not going to be any foul play.
So even for the states that opposition parties accuse them of not letting them use their venues, using security to muscle them, you don't think that that's a concern?
No, we have addressed that at many fora, most especially at IPAC level. That one we have been following it up, and we have been talking to, most especially after we had meeting with the IG of police. We approached him, we told him, and he gave us assurances that they are going to follow it up with the state governors. That was when the IG of police accused state governors. And if you look at it, sincerely speaking, you will see that it is these state governors that, are trying to, stop other political parties from participating in campaign activities in their states.
Wait, so, how will IG accuse state governors when the state governors?
But it was in the news. It was there.
I'm asking that. Is it because we hear the state governors? It's equally in the news when they say we don't control security; they take orders from above. So how is it that he's accusing state governors when governors say, well, they take orders from you?
The governors are claiming to be the chief security officers of the state.
They say on paper.
It is not on paper. Look at what's happening. Let me quote particularly in Rivers State. Our candidate wanted to have a program, but the state government came with
which part?
Executive order, accord. Executive order that stopped them from performing those rights. So you see, and so many other political parties are complaining the same thing.
What was the reason they gave?
They say they don't want, that is not for public. They bring clumsy excuses to stop you, to make sure they stop you from carrying on your campaigns. No, but and it's not only Rivers, other states do the same thing.
But there are two different things. If there is an executive order, that's an order of a court.
That is what the governor is saying. He said he has an executive order.
You don't think that was...
And we complained to the IG. IG said he was going to address all the communication of police and the AIGs in the zones. That if we have any problem, we should go to the commissioner of police. If the commissioner of police, we feel he's compromised, we should go and report him to the AIG in charge of the zone. They gave us all the contact numbers of all the AIGs and the police commissioners. We have not seen any changes up to now, honestly speaking.
Any changes where? From the police or from the state?
No, from the states. Up to now, we have not seen much changes, We are still facing those problems, and the election is fast approaching.
Accord has not been campaigning in...
No, it's not only Accord. Political parties, I'm not talking of Accord. I'm talking on political parties generally. We are having this problem of being, being, what do you call it, interferences from government, from government in places. These are the problems we have as political parties today.
I want to look at the situation in Rivers. The governor of the state had said that the problem they have is that oftentimes there is a vandalization of public property and there is always a huge mess left to clean up. Has there been any attempt to engage with the state government on this particular reason to find a middle ground? Maybe if it's for the political parties to offer to clean up afterwards or to ensure that, there is no vandalization of... Because oftentimes the venues that they want to use are school compounds, isn't that correct?
You see, the problem, they always come with excuses, and they want to believe that what you are saying is correct. But sincerely speaking, they are using that one, to stop other political parties from performing their rights in the states, honestly speaking. It's not only Rivers State. So many other states is like that.
So you cited the example of Rivers,
exactly.
And the governor has, has responded to this criticism that, he's not allowing other political parties campaign. Have there been alternatives provided by the Rivers State government?
Well, I don't know at the moment, but I see the PDP campaigning all days. We see them campaigning, but we don't see other political parties doing the same. So we don't know why it is still like that.
So what solutions have your candidate found now?
No, it's not the only candidate. It's all the political parties. We are looking at it, and I believe we are going to discuss, it's part of the things we are going to discuss in our next General Assembly meeting at IPAC, because it concerns all political parties. We want a free, fair, and credible election in 2023. So we cannot achieve that, unless you have, a level playing ground for all the political parties.
You have spoken to the neutrality of INEC. You say you believe that INEC is neutral.
Certainly,
and I do not know how much of a participation you had in previous polls, especially the ones that have recently been conducted by with the use of the beavers. Do you have any reservations about Nigeria or INEC introducing this beavers machine across all the 36 states of the Federation?
You see, let me take us back. Before 2015 general election, the election system was completely different. And there were a lot of accusations and of frauds, and other election offenses. So we political parties at that time sat down with INEC through our consultative forum, and we developed, a way of, reducing such incidences. Then an idea of use of card reader came up, so which card reader was introduced. And after 2015 general election, we saw the differences, of course. So many, opportunities for fraud were, blocked. And, Nigerians, with time, they started developing how to, sabotage the efforts made in sensitizing the electoral processes. And then with the leadership of the present INEC, they are very innovative. We appreciate it. And so since when they came in, they have been modifying the electoral processes. At later time, they came up with these beavers machines, and they have been put on test in some elections, some off-season elections we had recently. And we have seen the results were far much better than the ones we had, with card reader. And most especially, withdrawing the use of that incident form, because that creates a lot of, loopholes for politicians, selfish politicians that want to, rig the election. So with the beavers now, we believe most of these challenges will be minimized. That is why we're having confidence, and they have displayed it to us. And apart from displaying it to us, we have seen it physically at the various elections held after the general election.
Yeah, but what was your view, or what is your view about all of those narratives about underage voting in parts of the country?
Yes, underage, just like what the chairman said yesterday, we agree that there were challenges of underage voting. But with the update of the PVCs now, I believe INEC might have addressed such areas. You know, so anybody that is not eligible to vote will not be allowed to vote.
Because what some of those people who, how they got registered in the first place, I mean, some of the officials say they're usually under duress. They force them and compel them to register underage people, and you usually will see the dates, 1st of January, all of them have the same dates of birth. So do you think that that awareness is really there, that no one should actually encourage any underage person to go and register? Because they even have PVCs, some of them, which we see.
I am not aware of that. I have never
you haven't seen
no, I have never
any
seen,
of that?
I have never seen anything.
Even though INEC says, yes, it wasn't registered, but they're dealing with it.
I have never seen such things, but I believe in Nigeria anything can happen. Some people, and definitely you cannot rule out, there are people that are not supposed to be on the PVCs and they have PVCs. And, but INEC is doing as much to make sure that all these, vices are looked upon and addressed adequately.
Well,
but sincerely speaking, the kind of, the kind of methods taken, I believe, will address most of the challenges we have.
Well, as we wind down, you say that you have no concerns about neutrality of INEC officials, that everything is okay, neutrality of security agencies. Well, that of INEC, the chairman spoke to you. Where did you get your assurance from concerning security? How did you come to that conclusion?
Insecurity is because of what we have seen in the past.
Which past?
In 2015, 2019 general elections, we had, similar incidences of insecurity in some part of the country. But during the elections, the security, operatives were able to address such issues, and the elections were conducted. There was no too many reports of violences at polls. So I believe they have been studying the situation, and I believe they are going to mop up all this kind of, people that are trying to, bring, disharmony during and after the elections. I am so much confident that there is no problem in Nigeria we cannot solve, unless if we don't solve the problem.
Even vote buying, we can solve it.
Well, yeah, we can solve it, but you see, there are also methods. You see, Nigerians, like I said, we always develop, strategies whenever we want to achieve something, whether negative or positive. The INEC has tried as much to make sure that they reduce such incidences. But vote buying is something that, is a very major concern. Because if you look at the security personnel attached to polling units, will not be enough, to curb off all these kind of vices. If you have 1 or 2 policemen, how many political parties are contesting? Who will be at the poll watching how people, so, and who will be now going around to see what is going on? This vote buying usually happens not within the, the election premises. They stay afar and be applying some, system on how to, get, to buy votes. We don't know how to do it, but I know they do a lot of things like that. But I think government have to really employ more security to be watching such activities happening around polls.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Mohamed Nalado, former chairman of IPAC.